Yeah, live. Mic check, mic check. Final test. Day 5. Welcome in, everyone. Day 5 at the Comcast American Roller Speed Skating Championships 2019 edition. Coming at you today is Sunday. Sunday is Quad Day. So we get things started with our short distance heats. Just a few divisions where we need heats to determine who's going to make it on to the finals. We've got our 10 to 11 girls, 10 to 11 boys, and 12 to 13-year-old boys. All of those divisions are going to run 2 heats here to get us started on Sunday morning. Top 2 from each heat are going to qualify to the finals being run later today. Action-packed day of quad skating. We are doing the whole quad program here on a long, fun final day of the American Championships. We're going to do our individual races first, starting with the short distance heats. Then we'll do some middle distance heats, just a couple of those that we need to get done. And we start our finals. Quad long distance finals first, short distance and the middle distance. And then we start with the 2 and 3 person relays. So it's going to be a great day 5 here. Thanks for joining us. Hope you had a chance to tune in last night for the Comcast Race of Champions. Boy, you want to talk about racing. That was racing. We had Contact in the corners. We had photo finishes. First and second separated by fractions of a second all night long. Absolutely tremendous racing by the top competitors here at the American Championships. We turn our attention now down to the starting line. It's 10 to 11-year-old girls quads 300-meter heat number 1. This heat is going to feature Kara Coffey out of Bell's Speed Club, Kendra Bindula of CSC Speed, Keegan Schneider from Fast Forward, Emerson Studi, Texas Speed Club, and Reagan Polachek, the second CSC Speed skater in this one. So Coffey, Bindula, Schneider, Studi, and Polachek. Gonna start things off for us here. Day number 5. Final instructions from the starting line officials now for Coffey, Bindula, Schneider, Studi, and Polachek. Once again, inside the Xfinity Roller Sports Arena here in the shadow of Pikes Peak, Colorado Springs, Colorado. And quad day is underway. Our first race out on the track. Out in front early, it's Coffey. 3 laps in this one. Coffey out in front of Schneider. Schneider then Bindula. Coffey looking smooth to the bell goes Coffey. There is Schneider and Bindula. That's where the action is in this one. That's the race for second. Schneider and Bindula racing for a qualifying spot. Who's going to get it? Coffey's going to be home free. And it's Schneider and Bindula around the final turn. And Schneider. So Keegan Schneider scooping up the second qualifying spot. She'll move on to the finals along with Kara Coffey. See the final times put up there. Kara Coffey coming in under 40 seconds. Very fast lap times for her on quad skates. If you've been watching us all week, you see those times. They may seem a little bit slower, but the quad skate is simply a much slower vehicle than the inline speed skate. So those were indeed fast times for quads. So we move on here to heat number 2. This one featuring Minley Crawford of Kentucky Speed, Cheyenne Bivens from Bell's Speed Club, Kari Davis of the Claremore Chaos, Zana Nash of Champions, Sarah Garach of Fast Forward, joining her from Fast Forward, Leticia Ditro. Number 2, out on the track. Out in front it is Davis and Bivens. Now Bivens in front. Bivens followed by Davis. Minley Crawford in there as well. Now Crawford up to second. Oh, a stumble there for Crawford. She keeps her feet. Bivens and Crawford and Davis Three women racing for 2 spots. Oh, and Crawford goes down. Minley Crawford going down at the bell. So it is going to be Bivens and Davis. They are going to cruise into the final. Minley Crawford was right there with them until she went down with the fall. A tough break for Minley Crawford. You see there Bivens and Davis coming in just over 40 seconds as they will join Kara Coffey and Keegan Schneider in the finals. So we do wish Minley Crawford the best after that tumble. Hopefully she is okay and is going to have the opportunity to compete in the other distances here later on today. Maybe make an appearance in the relays as well. Tough fall there. Crawford we were looking like we were about to be treated to another fantastic finish with those 3 ladies until Minley Crawford's bad luck taking its toll there as we entered the final lap. Now at the starting line, 10 to 11 boys, 300-meter quad, heat number 1. The Jones brothers, Wesley and Braden, Tristan Starkey of the Claremore Chaos, Bradley Long of Texas Speed Club, and Jake Edwards from CSC Speed. The start is clean, and quickly to the front do go the Joneses. The rest of the pack trying to keep up with the Joneses here on lap number 1. Lap number 2. It is Braden, then Wesley Jones, followed by Tristan Starkey. Starkey trying not to give up too much ground. There's the bell. One more lap as Wesley ducks inside and takes the lead away from Braden. Wesley and Braden Jones running 1 and 2. Starkey a distant third as it is Braden Jones who takes the checkered flag. So Braden and Wesley Jones, you see there, coming in under 40 seconds. Tristan Starkey, a very fast time of 41.023 as well, but not good enough on this morning to qualify through to the final. Now it is heat number 2. Our 10 to 11-year-old boys 300-meter quad race featuring Eric Kloss, Dax Pilkington, Jaden Roberts, Bryson Gerling, and Nolan Polachek. So once again here, the lineup for Heat 2, 10 to 11 boys, 300-meter quads. Eric Kloss of Kentucky Speed, Dax Pilkington of Claremore Chaos, Jaden Roberts of Infinity Racing, Bryson Gerling of Team Illini, and Nolan Polachek, CSC Speed. Skaters to the line. Clean start. And quickly to the front, it is Kloss and Pilkington, followed by Roberts. Eric Kloss, a great start for him as he is out in front after 1 lap. So 1 lap gone, you see there Kloss in front, Pilkington running second with Roberts and Gerling in hot pursuit. 2 laps to go. Now here goes Roberts, Jaden Roberts and Dax Pilkington. They're going to battle it out on this final lap for the final spot in the final. Kloss is in, Pilkington and Roberts to the line. And it looks like it was Dax Pilkington. And indeed it was, just under a 1/10 of a second separating Pilkington and Roberts. So the margin of error in our 10-11 boys 300 meter quad heat absolutely razor thin, as it is Eric Kloss, Dax Pilkington, and the Joneses, Wesley and Braden. Those 4 skaters will contest our final later on this afternoon. We move up in age division to our 12 to 13-year-old boys quad short distance race. The 12 to 13-year-olds skate a 500-meter short race as opposed to the 300 meters we've seen thus far. So 5 times around. Again, it is the top 2 in each heat that qualify. You see there is the monitor that our race officials use to keep the skaters informed of exactly where they are in the race. When you're skating flat out, counting laps is far at the bottom of your priority list. As we see our lineup for heat number 1. Jacob Eads there on the inside from Kentucky Speed. In the middle, Luke Armstrong of Team Illini, and Ethan Kloss of Kentucky Speed as well. So 2 Kentucky Speed racers here in heat number 1. And Armstrong out to a quick lead. Armstrong followed by Eads. Kloss there as well, though starting to give ground is Ethan Kloss. Armstrong and Eads. They are running 1-2 as we, here on the backstretch, we will reach the midway point. There it is, 2.5 laps gone. As you see there, Ethan Kloss gamely trying to make up time, but Armstrong and Eads keeping up a brisk pace as they head to the bell. Little contact there, and there it goes. Jacob Eads to the front. Little stumble, and Armstrong taking advantage. They're both going to qualify. Who's going to win the heat? And more jostling of feet there on the final turn as Luke Armstrong gets the win, and Jacob Eads qualifies through to the final as well. Both coming in 1:03 and change. So nicely done there in heat number 1. Heat number 2, 500 meter 12 to 13-year-old boys quads, and Luke Armstrong's heat 1 winning time has just been announced as a new American Championships record. So congratulations to Mr. Armstrong. He will have a chance to better that time in the final, joined by Jacob Eads and 2 of these gentlemen, Tyson Fletcher, Ashton Hale, Clayton White, and Preston Venters on the line for heat number 2. Fletcher from Central Florida Speed, Hale from Star Skate Speed in Oklahoma, Clayton White from Texas Speed Club down in Austin, and Preston Venters, another Kentucky speed skater out of Lexington. Venters stumbling off the line. Tough start for big Preston Venters. Out in front early, it is Hale and Fletcher. Hale now, no contact around that turn. You saw it, Hale getting the worst of that, and Venters coming back with a huge burst after the tough start. Preston Venters now out in front and gaining ground by the stride. So Preston Venters looking good for a qualifying spot. The battle for the final spot is right there. Fletcher and Hale. Fletcher and Hale neck and neck down the back straight. Hale now into second ahead of Fletcher. You hear the bell for Venters up ahead, but it is Hale now pulling away as we return to our leader, Preston Venters. A terrible start, but a great finish for Preston Venters as he is through to the final along with Ashton Hale. So Preston Venters coming in with the 1:02.5. And that is, I do believe, faster than Armstrong's time. So I think we have yet another American Championships record. So that concludes our preliminary heats in the short distances. We're going to take a brief warm-up period for our middle distance heat competitors to get the wheels rolling. We'll be back. 10 to 11-year-old girls, 500-meter quad race up next. And welcome back inside the Xfinity Roller Sports Arena for the American Championships middle distance quad heats. Only one division with qualifying heats needed here on day 5 of the American Championships. The 10 to 11-year-old girls 500-meter quad. Heat 1 looks very similar to the heat we just saw in the sprint distance. Kara Coffey, Kendra Bingela, Keegan Schneider, Emerson Studi, and Reagan Polachek as we are moving right along through our quad program here on a Sunday morning. See there on the inside, that is the Bell's Speed Club skater Kara Coffey. She's our top qualifier in this one, and she cruised to a win to get to the finals in the short distance. We'll see if she's able to repeat that performance here in the 500-meter race. Schneider was the second qualifier out of essentially this heat in the sprint distance. So Coffey and Schneider, your favorites here in this one. Bingela, of course, was right there as well. Emerson Studi and Reagan Polachek in the heat. Looking to earn the opportunity to skate again later on in the day. A clean start, and once again to the front it is Coffey. Coffey, so fast off the line, building up a nice little lead here, early stages of the race. Coffey, then Bingela, then Schneider, Studi and Polachek there as well. Once again, it is the winner of each heat and the 4 fastest times in the middle distance. So just because you don't come in first or second doesn't mean that you are not going to advance. We'll see how the two heats shake out, but win and you're in, and that seems to be Kara Coffey's plan, as she is out front. Bindula and Schneider and Studi running a close 2, 3, and 4. So the faster that those three can push each other in pursuit of Coffey, the better chance they have of getting through to the final. As you see there, Bindula and Schneider in the race for second. Now there goes Schneider. Looks like she's going to try to make a move. Pulls up. So Coffey is in clean for the automatic bid to the final. Kendra Bindula finishing second. So Coffey is in. Bindula with a 109. Schneider as well in at 109 and change. Studi with the 110 and Polacek with the 113. So those four ladies awaiting the results of this heat here before you at the line, the 10 to 11-year-old girls. 500 meter quad, heat 2, Minley Crawford, who was in prime position to advance in the sprint until she took the tumble there at the bell. And we're receiving word now, Kara Coffey's 1:07.530 is a new American Championships record. So even in the qualifying heats, records falling left and right here on day 5 of the American Championships. Back to heat number 2. Joining Crawford out there once again, it's Cheyenne Bivens, Kari Davis, Zenna Nash, Sarah Garach, and Letitia Detro. So the heat winner is through along to join Kara Coffey, and then we'll figure out who the next 4 qualifiers are after that. And Crawford, a much better start for Minley Crawford than there was in the sprint. She's out front. Crawford tailed by Bivens and Davis. Running 2 and 3, Minley Crawford, my goodness, coming back with a vengeance from that fall that cost her a spot in the sprint final. Minley Crawford. As it is all Minley Crawford. She's going to be there in the final. As you see, there goes Bivens around Davis. So Bivens and Davis trying to push the pace and finish with a time that's going to put them in the top 4 non-winning at times and qualify through. Bivens now starting to get some separation on Davis as Crawford is on the bell lap. There she is, Minley Crawford coasting home as we see the battle for third there between Davis and Garach as Bivens is across, then Davis, then Garach. Minley Crawford in with a 105. She is through, and that will be another new record. The 109s of Bivens and Davis also going to be good, so it is going to be Coffey, Crawford, Bindula, Schneider, Bivens, and Davis. Our top 6 qualifiers are the 6 racers who will contest the final, so no upsets there in our 10 to 11 girls 500 meter quad race. Our final batch of qualifying heats, our 10 to 11-year-old boys. Once again, the heats breaking out very similar, if not identical, to the short race heats. On the line in heat 1, Jones and Jones, Wesley and Braden, Tristan Starkey, Bradley Long, and Jake Edwards. So it was Wesley and Braden Jones who advanced in the short race. Starkey was a fairly distant third, but he's got 2 more laps to work with here in this one. We'll see who has the extra stamina. And a clean start here in heat number 1. Out in front this time is Starkey. So Tristan Starkey running in front off the line. Now here goes Braden and Wesley Jones in front. Oh, a little bit of a contact between the skates there for Braden and Wesley Jones. Starkey running right with them as well. So 3 fast times being put up on the first couple laps by those 3 gentlemen there. Bradley Long just out of the frame. There he is in purple for Texas Speed, but it is Jones and Starkey pouring it on here as we have 2 laps to go. Braden in front of Wesley at the bell. 1 lap remaining for Braden and Wesley Jones and the rest of the field. Starkey is there in 3rd. Bradley Long and Jake Edwards. Tailing off the back is the Joneses, take 1 and 2. Starkey in 3rd. So Braden Jones is in with an automatic spot. Wesley Jones with a 106 and a 108 for Starkey. Bradley Long's 111 is going to be on the bubble. And Jake Edwards, 115, probably going to leave him on the outside, looking in at the final. But that depends on what happens here in heat number 2. Eric Kloss, Dax Pilkington, Jaden Roberts, Bryson Gerling, and Nolan Polachak. As the skaters come to the line. Once again, it's Kloss and Pilkington out in front off the line. Oh boy, Eric Kloss showing himself to be a tremendous starter, as it's Kloss followed by Pilkington, Roberts and Gerling. In a tight race for 3rd. If you're not first, it all comes down to time. So Kloss currently in the lead. Pilkington trying to keep pace, and now here comes Roberts and Gerling gaining ground on Pilkington. Eric Kloss all alone out front. 2 laps to go for our skaters as we check back in with Eric Kloss. So Kloss around the final turn. To the bell goes Eric Kloss. Here's the race for 2nd. Pilkington still holding off Jaden Roberts. Gerling falling off the pace just a bit. Pilkington and Roberts pushing the pace. You see Pilkington up on 1 foot there around the turn as he crosses the line 2nd. So Eric Kloss gets the win. Pilkington 106. He will qualify through. Jaden Roberts with the 107. He will qualify. Bryson Gerling has a 108, so he's in a dead heat with Tristan Starkey. Wesley Jones will get through on time, and it's going to be between Starkey and Gerling by a fraction of a second. We'll let the officials determine who is going to get through on time with such a small margin. As we take a break before we head into our long distance quad finals, want to wish all the fathers out there joining us here on a Sunday morning, happy Father's Day 2019 to you. Glad you chose to spend at least some of it here with us at the American Roller Speed Skating Championships. Long distance finals coming up next. As we welcome you back into the Xfinity Roller Speed, excuse me, the Xfinity Roller Sports Arena for the American Speed Skating Championships. It's been a long week, folks. I do apologize for that. You see there, it is day 5, quad day, and indeed it is, as we start with our finals now. So our first final of the day, the hardware up for grabs now for our 5 to 7-year-old girls. Claire Pilkington, McKenna Luther, and Tazaria Cooper contesting this one. So the two Claremore Chaos skaters, Pilkington and Cooper, along with McKenna Luther of Fast Forward. So those three racers, 5 laps around the track for our 5 to 7-year-old girls 500-meter quad finalists. So a bit of discussion. You see an official waving off camera. That is the motion to get the next race into the holding area so that they can step straight out to the line. So a final check between the officials and McKenna Luther there. And we should be underway shortly. And off they go. 500-meter final, 5 to 7-year-old girls quad division. Out in front quickly, it's Pilkington. Pilkington followed by Luther, followed by Cooper. So there are our 3 racers here in this one. Pilkington out to a nice lead after just a couple of laps. Claire Pilkington, as she is in control of this one. The race for second is on. Back here, it is Luther and Cooper. Luther and Cooper running 1-2 very close as we are more than halfway through this race. You see Tazaria Cooper going up on 1 foot around the corner there. Claire Pilkington to the bell. So Pilkington is going to win it. What will happen between Luther and Cooper for second? 1 lap left to decide it, as you see Pilkington cruising home for the gold. So Pilkington is through, and we catch up. It is Luther with about a 4-step advantage around the final turn. Cooper's last chance to make a move. She's going to go for it, not quite going to get there. And you saw the face of Tazaria Cooper. Disappointment there at the end, didn't quite get around, just a 1/10 of a second behind McKenna Luther, as Claire Pilkington dominant in that one, a 1:16.516 for your champion. And up next, our 8 to 9-year-old girls. 700-meter final. Only one racer in this one. It's Olivia Covey. So the Bells Speed Club racer. Going to be able to cruise around the track 7 times and collect her gold medal. So Olivia Covey waiting to go ahead to take her mark. officials doing what could only be a very fast double check of the heat roster as Olivia Covey is going to race this one uncontested. And Covey is on her way, 7 times around for Olivia Covey. And you see there the purple skates. Boy, I like those skates Covey's got on her feet there. Nice deep shade of purple as she comes around. That's 3 laps gone. 51.8 the total time for Covey. Her best lap, a 16.55. And Covey to the bell. And Covey coming in final time just over 2 minutes and 7 seconds. So Olivia Covey, your champion in the 8 to 9-year-old girls 700 meter race. Up next is now our 8 to 9-year-old boys 700 meter quads. A crowded field in this one. 6 skaters gonna toe the line. Casey Starkey of the Claremore Chaos, his teammate Darius Cooper, Thomas Winfield of Infinity Racing in the green, Oliver Hutchins of Kentucky Speed, Isaac Armstrong from Team Illini, and Nathaniel Harmon